planning to visit the Vatican in 2025? Whether you're visiting Rome because of the Jubilee or not, you may be wondering what's the best way to visit the Vatican, or if you should even visit it at all. Regardless of whether you're visiting Rome as a pilgrim or just as a tourist, I'm going to explain how to visit the Vatican during the 2025 Catholic Jubilee. I'm going to explain how tourists and pilgrims alike can visit the Vatican Museum's St. Peter's Basilica and St. Peter's Square. I'm also going to go over the procedure for going through the holy doors of all 4 papal basilicas. First, let's talk about visiting the Vatican museums. I've heard a lot of people say things like they're not going to visit the Vatican at all because of the Jubilee, they're just going to stay away. But why? The Vatican Museums is where the Sistine Chapel is. It's on the complete opposite side of Vatican City from where St. Peter's Basilica is, and it has nothing to do with the Jubilee. So everyone can visit it normally. In fact, to prepare for an anticipated influx of visitors this year, the Vatican Museums extended their hours and they're now open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. I'm not going to go too much in depth about the Vatican Museums because I have so many videos on this channel about how to visit, how to avoid the lines, which tours to take, etc. So check out my playlist if you want to know more. It's linked in the description below. Now let's talk about visiting St. Peter's Basilica and St. Peter's Square. Both are inside of Vatican City, both are free for everyone, and both are easy to access for pilgrims and tourists alike. In fact, as a tourist, nothing has changed for you. You can visit St. Peter's Square and St. Peter's Basilica as before, although there is something new. Most of the time, to enter St. Peter's Square, all you have to do is cross over the line that separates Italy from Vatican City. I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but that is in fact what you do when you walk onto St. Peter's Square. If you're not sure what I mean when I mention Vatican City, don't miss my ebook all about the history of Vatican City, which I've linked to in the description below. On days when the Pope will be in St. Peter's Square, which includes Wednesdays for the papal audience, Sundays for the Angelus or Angelus, and any other special masses he might hold in the square, you'll have to go through security first before you enter the square. In this year of the Jubilee, the Pope will also be holding additional audiences on some Saturdays. To see the Pope's schedule this year or anytime, visit vatican.va and just click schedule and you can see his calendar. You can usually see his schedule up to 2 weeks in advance. The main thing that's different this year about St. Peter's Basilica is the Holy Door. The Holy Door remains open all day long during the opening hours of the Basilica, and the door will be open all year long through the end of the Jubilee. The Pope will close the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica on January 6th, the Epiphany of 2026, and that will be the end of the Jubilee. After that, the Holy Door will remain closed until the next Jubilee, which will be in 2033 to coincide with the crucifixion of Christ. Normally, Catholic Jubilees are held every 25 years, but 2033 will be a notable exception. Pilgrims who go through the Holy Door receive plenary indulgences, and the idea is to go through the holy doors of all 4 major basilicas, also known as papal basilicas. Besides St. Peter's Basilica, the other 3 papal basilicas are St. Mary Major, Santa Maria Maggiore, St. John in Lateran, San Giovanni in Laterano, and St. Paul outside the walls, San Paolo fuori le mura. It's easy and free to go through all 4 of the holy doors. By the way, in each one of these basilicas, the Holy Door is next to the regular entrance, and you can go through the Holy Door whether or not you are a pilgrim, and you also do not have to go through the Holy Door if you don't want to. In any case, many of you want to know how to go through the Holy Door. To go through the holy doors of the papal basilicas, including St. Peter's Basilica here at the Vatican, you have several options. One way to go through the Holy Door is to register in advance. Everyone can do this, pilgrim or not. You just go onto the official Jubilee website, which I'm linking to in the description below, and create a login for yourself. Next, you should download the Jubilee app. From either the website or the app, you can book your entry to the Holy Door. You'll be able to see your booking in the app. For the purposes of demonstration, and because I did this, and because here at St. Peter's Basilica, the procedure is a little bit more involved, I'm going to be showing you the procedure for going through the Holy Door here at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. For the other 3 papal basilicas, you just show up for your appointment time and you can go right into the door. But I'm also going to explain how to go through the Holy Door without booking in advance. Once you have your booking to go through the Holy Door, you're going to want to come down here to Piazza Pia. Piazza Pia is this beautiful new pedestrian piazza that was created in time for the Jubilee. It's just underneath Castel Sant'Angelo, and for me, the easiest way to get to it is to cross over the Angel Bridge because it's such a beautiful walk. So whether you're one person or a group, just come down here to Piazza Pia with your booking and walk into the little help desk that's been put here specifically for the Jubilee. If your group is a minimum of 10 people, you'll all be able to stay together, and they'll give you one crucifix for your group to carry. On the other hand, if you come down here with fewer than 10 people or alone, like I was, you're going to have to wait until at least another 9 people show up so you can have a group that's a minimum of 10 people. Once you form this minimum 10-person group, they're going to give you a cross to carry, and one person in the group can volunteer to carry it, but others can also take turns if they like. I didn't carry it, but the people who did said that it's very lightweight. I'm standing here on Via della Conciliazione, which is the street that leads from Castel Sant'Angelo all the way to St. Peter's Basilica. Right at the beginning of Via della Conciliazione in Piazza Pia, you'll see the beginning of the dedicated Pilgrims Lane. Don't worry, there is somebody to show you what to do. So when it's your turn, your group with the cross is going to be allowed to enter the lane, and then you're going to walk all the way from the beginning of Via della Conciliazione in Piazza Pia all the way down to St. Peter's Basilica. When you go sign up at the little booth, they're going to give you a little sheet of paper with some prayers to say in your language. In my case, it was a little funny because there were not enough of us to form a group where we all spoke the same language. So in my little group of 10 people, 10 strangers, we spoke English, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and German. But we managed. Everyone said prayers in the language of their choice, or sometimes they didn't pray at all. This is really up to you. When I came with my group, we were kind of alone, and I actually had to wait about 20 minutes for another 9 people to show up to form a minimum group of 10. But I also popped down here on a weekend in February, and there were many, many groups, and they were all standing in line waiting one after the other. So we walked down this Pilgrims Lane alone because there were just 10 of us and there wasn't even a group behind us. But on Saturday, there were so many groups and they were all bunched up together waiting to go down the Pilgrims Lane. And I noticed it was really nice. They let each group go alone and then they let some space between them and the next group. So that was nice for each group that was going because they had their own space, they could take their time, say their prayers, etc. But what it means is that each group probably had to wait a pretty long time to get their turn. If I were to walk from right here where I'm standing over to St. Peter's Basilica, it would take me about 5 minutes, maybe less. But when you do it along this Pilgrims Lane and you've got somebody carrying the cross and you're saying prayers, it takes about 15 minutes. So as you walk along here, you're going to come to a few barriers that are closed, for example, to let traffic through or to let foot traffic through. But there are Jubilee staff all along the way, and they open up those gates so that the pilgrims can get through. Once you get up to St. Peter's Square, you're going to have to go through security. But our line for security was 0. There was nobody in front of us. And this was during the week, and I could see that the other lines for security were pretty long. So one huge benefit of going through this Pilgrims Lane is that when you get to St. Peter's Basilica, your lane for security is very short. But it's not finished here. Once you go through security, there's going to be a Jubilee volunteer who's going to lead you up to the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica. As you walk, again, the pilgrims have their own dedicated lane, so you don't have to mix in with long lines of other people. When you get up close to St. Peter's Basilica, you'll have the option to walk up the steps or take the ramp. So if someone in your group is in a wheelchair or if you have a baby stroller, you can take the ramp, or actually anybody can take the ramp if they want to. Once you get up to the outer loggia of St. Peter's Basilica, you can then walk straight through the Holy Door. At this point, if you wish, you can leave your group and explore the Basilica on your own. But I would advise you not to because the pilgrimage is not finished. Your Jubilee volunteer will guide you through the Basilica, taking you along the right-hand nave all the way up to another dedicated lane for pilgrims. From there, they're going to walk you right up to the bottom of Bernini's Baldacchino, which is above St. Peter's tomb. Regular visitors to St. Peter's Basilica will not be able to get this close during the Jubilee. So unless you take a tour of St. Peter's tomb, if you're just a regular tourist visiting St. Peter's Basilica and you didn't come up this pilgrimage lane, you will not be able to get this close to St. Peter's tomb inside of the Basilica. Anyway, once you've come to the point where you've gotten close to St. Peter's tomb, said a prayer all together, your pilgrimage has finished. The Jubilee volunteers will let you out of this little space, and then you're free to continue exploring the Basilica on your own if you like. The next way to do this is to simply show up here at the Jubilee booth without a reservation. But in that case, they will help you to register and to create a reservation for yourself. So if you just didn't get to it before, or you're not sure how it works, you can just come here to the dedicated Jubilee booth and the volunteers will help you reserve your spot for the pilgrimage lane. Finally, a third way to visit the Holy Door is to simply enter St. Peter's Basilica as a tourist, going through the normal entrance, and then once you're inside, ask how to go through the Holy Door and someone will show you. So you might ask, why go through all that trouble registering and booking a time? First of all, if you want to go through this pilgrimage lane, which does have quite a lot of privileges, you have to register. Second of all, by registering, you can keep on top of and register for other Jubilee-related events if you're interested. And of course, you can book the other Holy Doors as well if you like. And third, as the season gets busier, the lines are going to get longer, and those with reservations do have priority over those people who do not. So if you don't register, if you don't book, if you just come in through the normal entrance and you want to go through the Holy Door, you may have to wait a bit. Here are some of the questions that I've been asked about the Holy Door. Once you go through the Holy Door, can you stay inside the Basilica? Absolutely. As I've just explained, after you enter the Basilica, and if you leave your pilgrim group, you can just stay inside as long as you like until closing. You can explore the Basilica, you can say some prayers in some of the side chapels, you can climb the dome, you can visit the Vatican grottos where many popes are buried. You can also visit the Museum of the Treasury. If you come into the Basilica some other way, can you still go through the Holy Door? For example, if you visit St. Peter's tomb, you come out inside of St. Peter's Basilica without having gone through the entrance. Also, if you take a tour of the Vatican museums, and on that tour you're allowed to use the shortcut from the Sistine Chapel into St. Peter's Basilica, you may not be able to go through the Holy Door if there are too many people. And again, as I've said, if you come in as a regular tourist and just go through the regular entrance, you'll be inside the Basilica without having gone through the Holy Door. The bottom line is that you might be inside of St. Peter's Basilica in some way without having gone through the Holy Door, and the answer is yes. You can go back out onto the atrium or the loggia and back inside through the Holy Door. In fact, you can do this multiple times if you like. In fact, they've gotten super organized at St. Peter's Basilica, and there's this dedicated lane from inside the Basilica to go back out onto the loggia and back in through the Holy Door. Don't worry if you can't find it, although it is easy to find. You can always find somebody to ask and they'll show you where it is. What happens if you overbook yourself on the app? Nothing. Just take the one you want and ignore the other one. They don't overbook. This is just a way to get yourself an entry time. Is the time you book the time you'll be going through the Holy Door, or is it the time that you meet here at Piazza Pia? The time that you book is the time that you should show up here at Piazza Pia. You'll be going through the Holy Door around a half an hour or so after you start your pilgrimage. What if you're late for the time you booked? Well, I was late for my booking, but there was nobody here and it wasn't a problem. If you're late, just go to the booth, let them know, and they'll probably just give you the next time available. But as the crowds get bigger, as the season gets busier, you might find that you have a long time to wait before they can fit you in. So how much time should you allocate for queuing and security? Well, you don't have to worry about security because once you get up there, you have your dedicated line for that. As for queuing, just show up here for the time that you booked, and you may have to queue a little bit, but once you sign in, you just have to stand in that line and wait your turn. On a weekday in winter, there's no wait, there's nobody here. As the season gets busier, you might expect to wait about half an hour to an hour in line before it's your turn. So what is the deal with this new booking system for St. Peter's Basilica, and how is it related to the Jubilee? St. Peter's Basilica has created a new site, and I think they've done a great job. Unfortunately, it's creating a lot of confusion. People are asking if it's necessary to book to visit St. Peter's Basilica, if it's related to the Jubilee, and if it allows you to skip the line. So here's the scoop. This website makes it easy to book an entrance to St. Peter's Basilica and to climb the dome. Just to visit the Basilica, it's going to cost you €7. And you might say, wait, but I thought it's free to visit St. Peter's Basilica. It is. This €7 is a booking, and it gets you an audio guide. And yes, this ticket does allow you to sort of skip the line, or at least to have a shorter line for security. I made a dedicated video all about this new booking site and what it means and how you can use it, so check that out if you want more details. The bottom line is that the booking site is unrelated to the Jubilee, although of course you can use it during the Jubilee. Basically, in 2025, if you want to visit St. Peter's Basilica as a pilgrim, I recommend that you register on the Jubilee website and book your visit to the Holy Door so you can take the pilgrimage that allows you privileged access into St. Peter's Basilica. If you're visiting St. Peter's Basilica as a tourist and not as a pilgrim, I do recommend the booking site because for €7, you can get a shorter security line. And the big question that I've been asked most of all, do you need to book to visit St. Peter's Basilica in 2025? The answer is no, not at all. The Basilica remains free to visit. You can simply show up and wait in line. And as always, if you come at 7 a.m. when the Basilica opens, you may encounter no line at all, or at least a short line. There is no reason to avoid visiting St. Peter's Basilica in 2025. It's free, it's open normally, you can visit it, you can visit the cupola, you can visit it as you would any year. And speaking of that, the rest of Rome is open normally as well. Whether you're here as a pilgrim or just as a tourist, you can visit all of those must-see sites, and in fact, I suggest you visit some of the lesser-known sites as well. In the description below, I'm linking to all of the official websites I've mentioned in this video. I hope I've answered your questions, but if you have further questions, drop me a line in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer you. And for lots more details about how to visit St. Peter's Basilica with the new booking site, don't miss my video right here.